Shalom. For me, it was a very heartening experience this summer to meet Rod Bryant, a truly kindred spirit, and hear about the Nativ community and your thirst to study the Torah. And for me, it is truly a privilege to offer you today's teaching. In our annual cycle of the study of the 5 books of Moses, we are now this week in the middle of August, entering the week of the study of the portion of Rabbi. See, I set before you today a blessing and a curse, in Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26 and onwards. This is the 4th of the 11 portions into which Deuteronomy is divided. The entire book of Deuteronomy consists of the discourses of Moses given to Israel as they stood after 40 years of wandering in the wilderness, in the plains of Moab, poised to enter the promised land. Moses would leave them and entrust the leadership to Joshua. And in the book of Deuteronomy, he gives his final testament to Israel and to all the generations and to all people. In the first 3 portions of Deuteronomy, we've seen how Moses has recounted to Israel the history of their wanderings in the wilderness. God's providence is having taken them out of Egypt and taken them to the foot of Mount Sinai, where Moses in Deuteronomy takes them back through the whole 10 Commandments and summarizes the very foundations of the Torah, which are essentially 2. The fear of God and the love of God. And now starting with our portion this week, Rabbi, the 4th portion of Deuteronomy, and for the 5th and the 6th portions, Shoftim and Kitetse, and the one that will come after that, Kitavo. These are the very core of Deuteronomy, these central 4 portions which give us the entire statement of the fundamentals, the details of the commandments of the Torah. The book of Deuteronomy is so called from the Greek words deutero, second, and nomos, law, because Deuteronomy consists in this central portion of Moses' practical restatement of the laws applying to people both on the national level in terms of the national religious life of the people surrounding the temple, the government of the people through the Sanhedrin, the council of sages, through the king, the conduct of the people in times of war and in times of peace, in the home, in business life, in social life, in marriage and divorce, and all of the other junctures of life, concluding in the portion of Kitavo that comes to us in up till Deuteronomy chapter 26. We have the conclusion of the restatement of the laws, concluding with the law of the first fruits. And then Moses returns more fully to the theme that is at the start of our portion this week. As we start Re'eh, Moses tells us that he's putting before us the blessing and the curse if we will follow this pathway. And in the coming portions, we will learn all the details of the pathway. And after the restatement of the pathway, we will come finally towards the end of Deuteronomy to the concluding moral rebuke with Moses' enumeration of the details of those blessings and God forbid of the curses, climaxing in Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19. I bring today as witnesses against you the heavens and the earth. Life and death am I putting before you, the blessing and the curse. And you choose life in order that you and your seed shall live. Well, it's with this that this week's portion begins, this week's portion of Re'eh that will take us into the national life of the people agriculturally and in terms of the annual cycle of the festivals around the temple, the beginning of the whole restatement of Torah law by Moses at the end of his life, begins with the words at the start of the portion. See, today I'm putting before you a blessing and a curse. The blessing that you will listen to the commandments of the Lord your God. Listen, hearken, attend, and perform them, these commandments that I'm instructing you today. And the curse, if you will not listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, but you will turn from the path that I'm instructing you today to go so as to follow after other gods that you have not known. Well, as I say, will only be after the restatement of the details of the path of the Torah and the commandments that Moses will return to the theme of the blessings and the curses, and when he will explain in detail in the portion of Ki Tavo, Deuteronomy chapter 27, the ceremony that was to be performed when they entered the land, when the people would inscribe the Torah on rock in the land as the guide to the nation's life, and the Levites would stand before all of the people and enumerate the details of the blessings and the curses. So here, as we embark on our detailed study of the laws of the Torah, Moses tells us we have choices to make. And this is a very timely theme right now in the run-up to the coming United States presidential elections, due to be held on November the 6th, when the voters of America will be asked to make their choice between two candidates to cast their ballots. And this is an election that is seen by many to be very much bound up with the future destiny and direction of America, and will certainly influence the whole world. And yet King Solomon, in his wisdom in Proverbs chapter 21, in the opening verse, he says, like streams of water are the heart of a king. It is in the hand of the Lord. Wherever he wants, God will incline that stream. The hearts of kings, the hearts of elected presidents are ultimately the hands of God. The candidate may promise one thing, but will he be able to deliver? Does he wish to deliver? And will events that may occur in America and across the world cause many surprises between now and the elections and in the years that come? There's something very disempowering to the citizen about the contemporary so-called democratic elections, because the citizen is called upon to make one choice, to mark his ballot paper and put it into the box, and that's it. The candidates promise that from then on, the coming government will take care of the citizens' needs, guarantee their security, guarantee the prosperity of the economy, provide health services and welfare, and not always are the presidents able to deliver on their promises, and the people are left with whatever government has come to power, and more some citizens feel that they are at the mercy of their governments, and all they have been asked to do is to make one choice on voting day, and after that they're at the mercy of their government. But the Torah choice is entirely different. The Torah choice faces us at each juncture in our lives, when we're in our homes, with our families, with our parents, our spouses, our children, with our dear ones, with our friends, when we are at work, when we are in business, when we are out in society and dealing with others. We are constantly faced by choices. Do we take the path that is more selfish, or do we try to take the path that is more altruistic? And in each and every juncture of life, we are faced with such choices. And here Moses is teaching us that our destiny is in our hands. It's not a one-time choice on the ballot paper. It is a daily task of making the choices that will truly bring blessing into our lives, the lives of our families, our dear ones, and those around us, and the whole world. We expect that the natural world around us should obey the laws of nature, that the clouds should be driven by the winds to carry to the rains and the waters, the places where we feel we need them, that the rains should fall and that the earth should be saturated, that the plants and vegetables should be nourished by the waters and by the sunlight, and that they should feed the insects and the birds and the animals upon which the creation depends. And we get terribly upset when even one tiny link in this system seems to be disobeying the laws. For example, in recent years, we've been faced with a phenomenon of the collapse of many bee colonies. And suddenly people realized how important the humble bee is to our consumption of various fruits because of the work of the bee going from flower to flower on the tree, cross-fertilizing the flowers and making the fruits develop. And with the extinction of many bee colonies in places across the world, there's genuine fear and foreboding about the future of many species of fruits. So we see the importance of each and every link in the creation doing its part. And these choices that we are faced with at the various junctures of life that we shall be reading about in the coming portion of Re'eh and the ensuing portions, going through the whole gamut of human activities from agriculture to business to marriage, divorce. At each of those junctions, we are making vital choices that have the power to bring true blessing into our lives if we make the right choices, or God forbid, the opposite. And that's why we need constantly to be studying the wisdom of the Torah. A presidential candidate may come and go. His promises are probably not even remembered a few years after the elections, but the promises of the Torah are written in immutable letters. They are contained on the celestial heavens, and the promises of the Torah in matters of life and of death may be completely relied upon. May we have the merit to study the Torah and go in the pathways of the Torah and truly receive the blessing of the Torah. Shalom.